Matty and Steve, they set the stage. From classic bouts to the modern age. Every slam, every story, every legacy comes alive with wrestling pedigree. So tune on in, the spotlight's bright. The ring is ready on this podcast night. It's wrestling pedigree.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling Pedigree. This is our 12th episode, and we've only been here for 2.5 months. I'm your co-host, Matty, and with me, as usual, is the last real general manager of MWL, Steve Atkins. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. I am taking over Earth and still kicking in Uranus.
You just love that saying.
I really do.
It's a fucking amazing saying. Tonight, our subject is mostly Dudley Boyz, but we will go into wrestling retirements, and if anyone's been living under a rock for the last couple of days, the Dudleys, unfortunately, Team 3D, have retired after their amazing Table for One match against the Hardy Boys at Bound for Glory. Absolute banger. A phenomenal match. Did you watch it, Steve?
Of course I did. I got right on to Bound for Glory after we got off the podcast last week.
Oh, yes, and massive shout out to Ian, who was a lucky son of a bitch that was there.
Yeah.
How did you find that match? Because for me, the last bit was just I hate the feels.
I thought it was a great match, especially the way they protected Devon. Because, he just got off of surgery a couple of years ago. He really can't be taking bumps. They didn't make him take bumps.
I saw Jeff take that ladder spot. He done that pretty well.
Yeah, he really did. Like, Jeff took the full brunt of that bump. No. Barely even touched Devon.
For me, the ending was... people compare it... I've heard people compare the Ric Flair I Love You to it.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
But it was... just like he knew it was the end, and he just went, just get it over with. And it got the feel for someone. When we did our top 10 tag teams numerous episodes ago, Dudleys are my number one. The Dudleys are my number one. So for me, this was just in the field for me. So let's start back with the Dudleys for a bit. When did you first see the Dudleys?
First time I saw the Dudleys was probably about 1998 or so. ECW was a few years old, and that's when I started watching ECW, and I immediately fell in love with them. Like, the guys were just smash mouth, no nonsense guys, and I fucking loved it.
They were mad. I mean, there was a lot more, obviously. Dudleys. I saw Dudleys when they first came in ECW in '96. In the UK, we were swapping tapes, so I saw a lot of Dudleys, and I never knew how much heat they could get.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were called royalty. You're calling a woman, you fat bit. Like, obviously, for a kid of my age at that time, I'm not thinking, I didn't see this in like at a pub or like a bar, but not on the TV. And he's calling someone that. Is there any particular matches in ECW that you saw that you would like really stand out for you?
In ECW, not really, because I was young. I had just started watching it, and I was like, wow, these guys are awesome.
Do you remember the other Dudleys?
Oh yeah, I remember Big Dick, Sign Guy, obviously Spike, all coming from the seed of Big Daddy Dudley.
Yeah, he put it about. He did.
Yep.
Bubba.
Dances with Dudley.
Yeah.
Dudley.
I wonder how they came up with that. Dudley. Do you remember the dye they had around? It was like old dye, wasn't it? And I know you
Yep.
got particular kind of attire for Casey Jane. So it's similar, isn't it? Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep. All tie-dye.
yeah, then after 1998, after you were watching them, they went to WWF /E.
Yep. And then they went from wearing the tie-dye to camouflage.
Blue and white camouflage.
Yep.
Which, obviously, unless you're skydiving in a sunny place of Texas or Florida or something like that, you're going to get spotted.
Remember, they had some red and white tie-dye as well.
Oh, shit, yeah, they did. Do you remember they had the starter? Bubba had the starter.
Yep.
I remember that in WWF when they first came in. And they picked on straight away, they picked on the APA.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to pick on someone team, you're picking on a badass team of the APA.
But coming from ECW and WWF fans not really knowing them, they didn't know, yeah, they can completely go with APA. And those two teams put on amazing matches. They put on banger after banger after banger.
Oh, absolutely. And before them, obviously, Public Enemy came in, which was similar because the tables and stuff like that. And obviously, they had a bad rep with the APA. So with the Dudley's coming in, I thought that was really good to show off. Yes, we deserve to be here. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the first 2 years, anything stand out for you for the Dudleys?
So we're talking like 98, 99?
Late 98 going into 99 to say late 2000.
Well, obviously 2000 they had the ladder match, the 3-team ladder match with the Hardys and Edge and Christian. I do believe that took PWI Match of the Year for that year.
It's understandable.
Yeah. And then they repeated it the next year with TLC 1.
Yes. Oh, no. Was the ladder match? Was it that triple threat ladder match, you mean?
Yep.
Wasn't that at WrestleMania that same year, 2000? WrestleMania 16, but it's WrestleMania 2000. Because I think it was like on the table, wasn't it? Edge and Christian winning. And the two ladders, there's a table there, and then Edge and Christian on top collecting the titles.
Yeah.
I think it's similar to that. But still banging matches, though. I love those matches. Yeah. What first person you saw Bubba and D1 put through a table in WWE that was a female?
I believe it was Mae Young. I think that was the first one that I saw.
Oh, the one when she just, you know what, we just powerbomb her off the stage and just put her through the.
Yeah. And like Mae was a badass. She was like, if you do it to one of the guys, do it to me, you pussy.
Yeah, and God bless her. She was crazy, absolutely crazy. And imagine if all grandmas were like that, the world would probably be better. My favorite matches I've had of them, apart from TLC's, which our favorite Scottish person. Who, oh, I love technology. I hated the TLC matches. Never been a fan. Damn, that's cold. He's already getting heat. I feel the Dudleys were unique
Oh,
after,
absolutely.
especially after the 2001, going into WrestleMania 17. That was the most craziest. I know Alice hates it, but that was the craziest TLC match I've seen in the ever. That was the best match of that card,
Oh yeah.
and that's including Austin and Brock as main eventing.
Yeah.
Would that be one of your top tag team matches of all time?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I don't care what Haney says.
What was your reaction when they brought Spike into WWE?
I wasn't sure what to think, but I grew to absolutely love Spike. Like I love the whole underdog personality. I love him teaming up with Molly Holly.
Yeah.
The Dudley Dog is still one of my favorite finishers of all time.
It's freaking awesome finisher. I remember his rivalry with Stone Cold. They had a little rivalry, didn't they, when he was a heel? Stone
Yep.
Cold was a heel. And they were picking on Molly. He said, "You can't talk to my girlfriend like that." And he ripped up the petition he wanted or something like that. I loved it. It was brilliant. And I like Spike because Spike is one of those crazy bastards where if you say, "I'm going to throw you into the crowd," like Bam Bam Bigelow did in ECW, you're like, "Yeah, that's okay."
Yeah.
I'm going to choke slam you outside the ring. Or no, he said that to Undertaker. He said that to Undertaker. He said, "You could choke slam me onto the outside." Undertaker went, "You sure?" You went, "Yeah, I could take it."
Yeah. And then Undertaker years later apologized to him for it. And Spike was like, that was my idea. I told you to do it.
It's I'm sorry, there's a message I have to put out there. Stevie eats Tootsie Rolls the long way.
Oh, be careful where you step, Haney.
Matty eats jelly eels the long way. Wow. God, this show's already over the bells. Obviously, for some reason, in Vince McMahon's head, invasion happened. You mixed WCW with ECW together. The Dudley is obviously ECW. They win the WCW tag team titles, the ECW tag titles, WWE tag titles, and they have a really good rivalry with the Hardys throughout that whole year. Ended with the cage match at Survivor Series, and then decided to 2002 split them.
Yeah.
What was your take on the split in 2002 with the draft?
I hated it.
Mm.
I absolutely hated it. But the one good thing we got out of that split was Deacon Batista.
Yes. Because God forbid you need someone like that to hold your money.
Yes. I wish I had somebody like that to hold my money. Of course, I have no money. So
I was going to say, you need money.
I could have a child behind me for all I care.
That's literally the best thing that came out of 2002 run with the Dudleys was Dave Bautista. But then it took him 6 months, or just over 6 months, for them to decide, let's get the Dudleys back together. And it was Bubba, Spike, and Jeff versus 3 Minute Warning and Rico at Survivor Series. And would you know it, Devon comes back out and the band are back together, and And then from then until they left in 2005, they were on a really good run. They won numerous tag titles, faces and heels. What was your take on that run until they left WWE in 2005?
I thought it was a fantastic run. Absolutely fantastic. Um, they didn't quite seem like the Dudleys of old, but they were still putting on great matches. I mean, they're, in my opinion, they're one of the best teams to come out of that era.
Yes, absolutely. After 2005, they, I think their saying was they crossed the line.
Yes.
I remember back in the day, Impact Wrestling did that, TNA Wrestling did that. They debuted, actually, probably about 20 years ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They couldn't use the Dudley Boyz, so they were Team 3D. There was Brother Ray and Brother D1. In that whole, they were there for the longest. It was 2005 to 2014.
Yeah.
They won the TNA World Tag Titles. They won the IWGP Tag Titles in Japan and the NWA Tag Titles also. Until Bully went on his own for a single run. Their rivalry with America Most Wanted, for me, is one of the best tag team rivalries in TNA wrestling, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Like America's Most Wanted, I love them as a tag team. Like there's a reason why my character is named Wildcat Casey James.
I think that's what's up for Chris Harris. Is it Chris? Yeah, Chris Harris?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Look at mind all gone. But I love James Storm. I'm
Yep.
a massive fan of James Storm, and I still say sorry about your damn luck to a lot of people, including people at MWL.
I say it
yeah.
at work.
Yeah. But they had great rivalries. Do you remember 3KM?
Oh yeah. I remember the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy rivalry there because it got real at one point.
Yep.
Obviously they were getting on a little bit, like in age wise, and then they were splitting up a little bit. And then Bully Ray went on a singles run, won the world title, its first ever world title, reinvented itself as a top singles heel, and then created one of the, I would say, one of the most interesting factions I think I ever watched. Aces and Eights. What was your take on that?
I'm pretty much with you. It was interesting. It was like they were trying to create the NWO.
Yeah,
Like especially with having the Dudleys there. If I'm not mistaken, Taz was part of it.
Taz was part of it. Ken Anderson went into it at one point. Yeah, Gerald Bischoff, Mike Knox. Yeah. A lot of people that were rejected from WWE came in and just said, "Yeah, you could join this." D'Lo Brown at one point, I remember, is one of them, and he was the freaking agent there.
Yep. Doc Gallows.
Doc Gallows, yeah, and
that's where he came up with the name Doc.
Yeah, and then decided to go to New Japan straight. I think it's after that, or was it after that?
Yeah, yeah, it was right after that.
Yeah, after that run, and obviously D1 was the first person to be unmasked in Aces and Eights, and at that time, Bully was a face. He tried to hook up with Brooke and be friends with Hogan. At that time, Bischoff and Hogan were running TNA, unfortunately. it was a crazy era, wasn't it, for that period, for both that list, for D1 being on Aces and 8 side and Bully being a face on that.
Oh yeah, I always thought it would have been Bully being the heel, Devon, being the preacher that he is. I would have thought that he'd be the face.
I thought I was exactly the same, but it came about as a steel cage match. Aces and 8s are in the ring, and Bully turns on. I think it was Jeff Hardy. I think he turned on Jeff. Right. I think it was Jeff Hardy and joined Aces and 8s, and from then he was the biggest prick of a heel I ever knew. I thought, wow, he did some shit. And he had, was it Miss Brooke also with him?
Yes.
It was he did some shady shit during that Easter 8s. It was like a proper Sons of Anarchy kind of faction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think they were there until 2014, and lo and behold, WWE came back knocking for only 1 year. They were only in WWE back in WWE for 1 year. That's 15 to 16.
Yep.
They returned on the Raw after SummerSlam Barclays Center in 2015, and it got a massive pop. Do you remember their return?
I don't, but from that year, I do remember Bubba being a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Yes, so that 2015 Royal Rumble was the WWE title on the line.
Yes.
Roman's title was on the line. Yep. And that's the same year AJ Styles debuted in WWE.
Yep.
So I remember, if I remember properly, Miz and Alex Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Then I want to say R-Truth. Then Bully.
Yep.
And then Reigns, and then all the others, and AJ. But that's how I can remember it. But yeah, it was a phenomenal debut. Re-debut for Bully Ray at Royal Rumble, and then obviously him and Devon come back after SummerSlam at the Barclays Center on the Raw, and then picking on one of the best tag teams of that era, which is the New Day.
Yes.
Their rivalry with the New Day. Do you remember much of it?
I really don't, to be honest.
All I remember is a lot of backstage segments and the Dudleys putting them through tables, and then when it was in the matches, it's literally just New Day cheating to win. That's all I can remember of that. But then the Usos. Do you remember that Bully Ray video where he's beating up the Usos? He goes, "This is for your cousins. This is for your."
Yep. This is for your daddies.
This is for the Rock. Oh, just brilliant. I think him punching the Usos probably was because he had to take steep faces a lot, whether it was Rikishi and Haku or Too Cool and that. I thought, yeah, there you go. He's getting paid back on his offspring now. They were inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2018 by Eddie Christian. How would you say the legacy of the Dudleys will be?
I mean, they're the most decorated tag team in wrestling history. TNA, TNA has them as 23-time champs. WWE has them as 18-time champs. I don't believe WWE is counting in like New Japan.
No.
But yeah, if you really get down to it, though, it's more like 31-time champs.
They're most decorated.
Yeah. There will never be another tag team as decorated as them.
I don't think there'll ever be another tag team like that where they could do it. They're the all rounder tag team, not
Yep.
high flying, obviously, but has in brawling, technical, storytelling in the ring, comedy. I mean, they did a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
And they could be the biggest assholes on walking on God's green earth. So they could
Yep.
do it every. That's why all rounder. So if you had what try to think of a tag team today, Nathan Fraser, Axiom, and you need to put them over as major baby faces. You will call on the Dudleys to put them over and make them look like $1,000,000, and they usually do. Dudleys were really company men. Do you think? I know we won't see anyone like that again, but do you feel the tables matches, the TLC matches, will have their legacy years later?
I mean, I think even when we're watching 20 years from now, if we see somebody have a tables match, we're going to immediately think of the Dudleys. We're going to think of Edge and Christian. We're going to think of the Hardy Boys. We're going to think of everything that those three did with all of that hardware.
Oh, yeah. And for that rivalry with the Hardy Boys, I remember that, what was it, a tables match, Royal Rumble 2000?
Yep.
All the way until last weekend. It's just one of those rivalries that in so much different promotions, it just still click and you could be entertained and by just watching any of their matches.
Oh, absolutely.
I do feel Bully Ray needs to be in creative in any freaking promotion that will allow him. Because hearing him on Busted Open, that guy is a freaking genius on some bits.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, they should just not take everything he says, because some of the shit he says is I wouldn't do that at all. But 9 out of 10, he's usually on the mark, and he's a fan of wrestling, and that's why we wrestling fans get behind a lot of the wrestlers, is because we know they're fans of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going Mr. Dudley's. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, they were a centerpiece of my. I can't say childhood because I was already 18. They were a they were a staple of my young adulthood.
Did you ever put anyone through a table?
Yeah, I put somebody through a table today. No, I didn't. No, I've put people through tables before.
I know. I've done it in school. I put people through, and our tables are different in the UK than it is to US. Ours had a little more metal in it, and I was determined to do a flapjack to someone through a table on dinner time in the canteen. So it was good times, and I blame the Duchess.
Oh yeah.
Before this outbreak, after the outbreak, we'll be talking about wrestling retirement, and the impact they have, and a little bit of what John Cena's retirement will be. So after this break. You ever wake up feeling like you've been powerbombed through your mattress? Yeah, me too. And that's why we drink Strong Coffee Company, the only coffee enough to cut a promo before sunrise. It's got caffeine, collagen, MCT oil, basically everything but a folding chair. Use the code PEDIGREE at strongcoffeecompany.com for 20% off. Use the code PEDIGREE at strongcoffeecompany.com for 20% off your order. Strong coffee for mornings that hit harder than your stepdad's finishing move. I got in trouble for that last saying before. It's still good though. I'm still going to use it.
Yeah.
So wrestling retirements. Any wrestling retirements that you can think of that you would like to us to discuss?
Now, there's one that we have to discuss that didn't stick, and that's Ric Flair.
Yes.
Now, WrestleMania 24, the way he was supposed to really go out, that was perfect. That was exactly how you would expect the Nature Boy to go out. Unfortunately, life happens. Divorce happens, alimony happens, and sometimes you just need that little bit of extra money. So
I think he was.
You pick up another match. you pick up another match just to get a payday. I can't fault him for that. However, if you ask me, that WrestleMania 24 match, that was his retirement. I will not see it any other way.
We would not count the tag team match that he had at Starcast.
Good God, no. Because he almost died in that ring.
Yeah, I was going to say he almost had another heart attack in that ring. I think that match was Shawn Michaels match was the perfect match for him. The ending, I mean, we talked about with the Bully Ray. That match was perfect. The I Love You, the super kick, the build up with Ric Flair choosing Shawn Michaels. Do you feel cheated that he came out of retirement when he went? So he left WWE, went to TNA, done a whole lot of shit in there. Do you feel cheated out of that retirement match?
I do. However, like I said, I get it. Life happens. You can't live off of your name. You have to work for your money.
That's true. That's very, very true. There's another retirement I want to talk about, and that's the Dead Man.
Yes.
So there's two sections of this that me and you were discussing about previously. Let's get into the first one, which is the retirement of the actual Dead Man persona.
Yep.
That people don't realize it. People thought he was actually retired, but I think you nailed it on the head, didn't you? That it was his persona, it was gimmick, was retired.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when he left his trench coat and his gloves and his hat in the ring, that was a retirement of the Dead Man persona of the Undertaker. Then he comes back and he has the Boneyard match against AJ Styles. But he came in as kind of he didn't completely come in as the American Badass. He still had a little bit of the Phenom in there. But he wasn't the Phenom.
Yeah, I remember he said he just mixed every character he had in WWE and mixed it all together in that last final match. And the second part of that is that retirement match against AJ for the Boneyard match is, for me, an end of a childhood because me and you grew up watching the Dead Man.
Yes.
And we had to watch it on the TV, and we wouldn't even get that kind of match because we were in a pandemic. So that's the only good thing about the pandemic was we got a Boneyard match and a perfect send-off for the Undertaker.
Yep. And during the pandemic era, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that all of those cinematic matches, those kept people watching.
Yes.
And hell, I'd love to still see some cinematic matches, but now with the pandemic era being over, we're not. It's just it's not going to be there.
I do think TNA are doing I think the odd cinematic when they go to the Hardy Housebound like yard and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with you. They need to bring back at least some cinema matches again. It's emotional watching that match because I'm watching what Undertaker said when it was the last Ride series that he lost his brother on that night or the night before.
Yeah.
And still wrestled and did that. Michael Hayes, I think, produced it. It was a highly intense, emotional match. But now, Undertaker, I think Undertaker's one of the top ones, like very like 1% ish, 5% ish, that won their last match before being retired.
Yes.
Another person on that line is the person T-shirt that you're wearing. That
that is the Stinger.
What is your thoughts on Singer's retirement? Was it a tour? Because I thought it was a tour, but you corrected me that it wasn't a tour, but it was literally just a retirement match. What was your take on that match? I think it was Darby Allin and his tag partner.
Yep, it was Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks. Dude, Sting went through a fucking plane of glass. The dude's retiring, and he throws himself through glass. Who the hell does that?
That's true. And I don't know how old he was then. He must have been in his late 50s.
Yeah, I want to say he was 58, 59.
Yeah, and to do that spot, and is that the spot where he says, Darby, don't go up, I'm doing it.
Yep.
Crazy bastard. But Sting wanted to go out on his own terms, and he actually did. And this whole year, he's done a retirement, kind of like a retirement tour, what he does in meet and greets in the Comic-Con and stuff like that. He's over in the UK with Comic-Con Scotland and stuff like that, where he's actually wearing that face mask until end of this year, and then it's no more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good retirement tour, I will say.
Yeah, which I mean, I was actually just talking to my wife maybe 10 minutes before we went live about how Sting is still painting his face, but he let his hair go white. He's painting his beard to go with his face paint.
He's clever. He is clever.
He's fantastic.
You ever met Sting in one of the Comic-Cons you went to or anything like that?
Nope, I have never met Sting. He is somebody that I definitely want to meet.
We talked about WCW last week. He's a unique wrestler.
Mm-hmm. He was the heart and soul of WCW.
And he has got that little soul of AEW also, I know, and TNA. So he's done very well for all three promotions. There is another retirement that this person not stay retired. He did come out for a little bit of Arab money.
He came out for some blood money. We'll just call it what it is.
All right, we just call you DMD now. God, we're gonna get heat for that. What's your take on Shawn Michaels' retirement match at WrestleMania 26?
26. Man, those back-to-back matches versus the Undertaker, those are both classic matches. Obviously, we knew going into the match, Shawn's going to lose. It's career versus streak. This is going to be it for HBK. And being as much of an HBK mark as I was, there was no chance in hell that I was missing that match. And that is a match that I can I still watch to this day, and still like they put on an absolute masterpiece of a match.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. Both matches, like when we did the WrestleMania moments / matches a couple episodes ago, that match is in both our lists.
Yep.
And Jovan's when he was our guest. So it's definitely up there, and I'm the same as you. I could watch both of those matches and I feel freaking entertained and not feel bored of watching it over and over again. However, he did come back out for the money, and it was not the best match.
No.
Do you think he will stay retired, even though you say he is because of knees? Or do you think in 2 years' time the money will come back again?
No, I think Sean is done.
Done.
He was joking on Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah.
That he may come back for the Royal Rumble, and Chris is like, really? No, I'm not coming back for the Royal Rumble. Guys, I am retired. I am not coming back. And he even said on his interview with Chris that he does not consider the Saudi match his last match. He considers the WrestleMania match his last match. That is the last Shawn Michaels.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's the explanation? Explanation? The reasoning for why they leave the boots in the ring. For people that don't know much wrestling.
The reason they leave their boots in the ring is, hey, this business gave me so much. I owe this business for everything. So the least I can do is leave in my boots.
Or hand them to your opponent.
Yes.
Like the Dudley did. There is someone else that came out of retirement. I think he came out of retirement 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. And that is Mick Foley.
Yeah, he came out of retirement once for each personality.
Shit, he did. Yeah. 4 faces of Foley. Yeah. That's clever. That was quick for you, for someone that's been at work like we have. What's your obviously his first retirement match was after his I Quit or career-ending match against Triple H at Hell in a Cell, No Way Out 2000. Then came out of retirement has Mick Foley for the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania 2000.
Yep.
Then retired again, and then was commissioned, all the way until I want to say WrestleMania 20, when it was him and Rock against Evolution.
Yeah, it sounds right.
And then that amazing match with Orton, the Backlash, the pay-per-view after. And then I think he retired then, and then went to TNA and did a lot of retirement stints there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel? I don't think it's money for Mick, because I've heard stories like it's cheap, so you will save all that money.
Yep.
Do you think it was just the love or the adrenaline, or just the pure love of the sport?
I think with Mick, it's, he loves wrestling. And sometimes you just get that itch. Like, I grew up playing baseball. Sometimes I get that itch to go and hit some balls around.
I agree. What's your take on the retirement speeches? As in Daniel Bryan back then, and Edge. What's your take on those two amazing performers and their retirement speeches back then?
They were absolutely heart-wrenching. Like at the time where they both retired, each of them were my favorite wrestlers. And Edge comes out and he goes, "Hey guys, they told me I have to retire." Shit. Why? Luckily for both of them, they were able to rehab their injuries. They were able to eventually come back. Tony Khan took a chance on each of them, let them come back to AEW, finish out their careers the way that they want to. Danielson still isn't actually retired.
Semi-retired.
He's labeled as part-time, but he's pretty much said, yeah, I don't know if I have another match in me. But where he never officially retired, I think he's going to have at least one more match.
That'd be interesting because I've seen interviews that Bray does not want him to wrestle. He got in trouble when he came back. I think it was All Out. Oh, not All Out. It was All In. And he did a bit of work, and then he got a bollocking of Bray, which I would love to see. I really would love to see that. Yeah, but I think Daniel Bryan was not more shocking as we knew he had a bad neck. I think we read the dirt sheets, but it was still upsetting. Edges came out of freaking blue, like you said, because it was straight after WrestleMania.
Yep.
He just beat Alberto Del Rio, and now he has to retire. And it was that pure emotion in his face of him don't want to sell it and cry like we all were doing for him. It's just that's why these two are so over in every promotion, whether it's WWE or AEW, because that connection they have with fans, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And luckily, Edge, he's still got some time. He is in his last contract or his last year with AEW. I honestly think he's in his last month or so with AEW. So there is a chance that he could be an opponent for somebody else who is on his way to retirement.
Yeah, you don't want to break a 30-day clause, do you? Because if you do that, as we learned out this week, we don't want to do that.
No.
Subject to rumors, obviously, because it came from Meltzer. It's Meltzer as far as I can throw the fucker, and I can throw him very far. What would you? Because I asked this to Ross last night on the Ross Report. I said, who would be the final opponent for John Cena on December the 13th in Washington? He goes Brock Lesnar. For me, I think it'll be an NXT call-up because they're doing NXT call-ups now. I think it'll be someone like Trick Williams or Carmelo Hayes or Miles Bourne, someone like that. Who do you think will be the final opponent for John Cena's retirement?
I think Cena's final opponent will be Gunther.
Should he win that? Should he be part of that 5%?
I don't think Cena would allow it.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he loves the business, he respects the business, and by everything that I've read, he wants to go out on his back.
Absolutely. How do you? Because we're talking about retirements, and this is the first retirement really tour that I've witnessed. Really, that's gone through a whole year, and he's been on mostly every pay-per-view. How do you feel this retirement tour has happened? Like, been good for him, or has it been bad for him? Or has it been in the middle? As a fan of John Cena, how do you go about it?
There have been really good points of it. There have been really, 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 really bad points of it. WrestleMania.
Agree.
But I think after him turning face again, it's just it's been fantastic. He's showing love to all of his major rivalries. Showing love to all of his major opponents. And I'm here for it. I am loving it. Like that Sister Abigail that he hit was it was brutal, first off.
Oh yeah.
Like he planted AJ. But then that moment where he just sat and let the fireflies come out. I got choked up.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah. I'm a 41-year-old man and I cried like a little bitch.
Well, I like to remind you, I was a 36-year-old man and I was crying like a bitch. Massive shout out though to Australia fans because they knew what to do.
Yes.
Because they didn't do the fireflies, I don't think that would have been much for nothing, but that was a brilliant brilliant match. I love that match. I feel Cena's retirement tour has been really good, apart from, like you said, WrestleMania. But I don't think that's his fault. I don't think that's Great's fault. I think that's the two people's fault, and that is one of them is Rock, and the other one is Travis Scott. So you sometimes you can't polish a turd.
No, and I think even with The Rock kind of dropping out, I think if Travis Scott hadn't like come down to the ring so slow and kind of showboated before he cracked Cody, I think it could have been saved.
I just knew it was to shits when he can hit him in Elimination Chamber. That right jab is like, oh, what it. What would you like for AJ's retirement tour next year to be like?
AJ's retirement tour, I don't want it to be anything like Cena's, because AJ is not Cena. He doesn't need to play his greatest hits. AJ just needs to go out and do what he always does, and that is put on a great fucking match every time he's out there.
Oh yeah, I think he should do open challenges, not for titles, just open challenges. Anyone that want to face him each week.
Yep, I wouldn't mind that.
And then,
however, I do want him. I do want him at some point to hold the title during his retirement tour.
What, the main one or just a main?
Just a title. I'd love to see him with the Intercontinental or the US. But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him hold the top title.
Either way, if he does the open challenges, that'll be really good because then obviously the relationship they have with TNA, they can bring Kaz back. They can have a match then because I would love to see a Kaz versus Kazarian versus AJ Styles match one more time.
Yep.
Also, there's been rumor. Well, Samoa Joe going to retire after his contract. And also, you mentioned Sammy from TNA.
Yep, Sami Callihan.
He was brilliant. I love his run. He was he was scary for me because I didn't know what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
I love unpredictable wrestlers like that. Do you?
Yep. And just the visual of, see, nobody knew that he was retiring after that match. But after he took the pin, he just sat up, undid his boots, left them in the ring. No fanfare, no, oh my God, he just put them down, walked straight to the back.
That's a perfect one. Perfect way of
Yep.
doing it.
And I was watching it and I went, was this supposed to happen? Was this scripted? Did anybody know about this at all? Or is Sammy just being Sammy and going off the book?
It's like I mentioned one to you yesterday when we were doing our layout for this, and you were surprised by it. And it was William Regal versus Cesaro.
Yep.
It was a low. Not a lot of people knew he was going to retire, but he did retire in that match. Like after that match, that was his final match against Cesaro, NXT 2013. That's why in AEW he's got a close relationship with Cesaro, but someone like William Regal, and I love William Regal. I loved him since the WCW days.
Yep.
Do you think someone of that stature should have had a bigger retirement, or does a small, low-key retirement show you what kind of man William Regal is?
I mean, it definitely shows what kind of man he is. With as much as I love Regal, though, I would have loved to have known, hey, this is the last time we're going to be able to see William Regal in a ring.
Yeah. I think, I know it's NXT, I know it's at Full Sail, but I think if they did it at like one of their, what they used to do at takeovers,
yeah,
they would have sold money from that because a lot of people just love William Regal and they would have paid money to watch his last match.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of any other retirements. I'm trying to think of the New Japan wrestler that does the air guitar. I forgot his name.
Well, one that we didn't talk about yesterday, that I thought of today, Batista.
Yeah, against
but Batista knew. Yep, Batista knew that his WrestleMania match against Triple H was going to be his last match.
Yeah,
but he's gone on record saying, I didn't want fanfare. I didn't want everybody to know, hey, this is it. I just wanted to ride off into the sunset.
And it was a brutal, brilliant match. I mean, the nose piercing segment still gets me. Oh, my nose goes all like that when I think about it. Yeah. And I think, well, Batista, it's a shame that the pandemic happened because he would have been a Hall of Famer by now.
Yep.
But he definitely, it was definitely a great send off that he did. And there's stupid rumors now that he's going to come out of retirement to face John, which is bullshit because Batista's exactly like John Cena said, he'll never, ever, ever come out of retirement for whatever money. So,
not to mention, Batista does not have the Batista body anymore.
I was going to say, nor does a Rock.
No. But Batista he dropped so much weight. He's still ripped, but he's not huge anymore. He's not the Batista we remember in the ring.
Before we close the episode, do you think that Stone Cold versus KO was Stone Cold's retirement match?
I've heard rumors that he's open to another match. But it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up going to Saudi for next year's WrestleMania or WrestleMania 2027, right?
Yes.
Or 37. Yeah, WrestleMania 2027. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I really, really want it to be the retirement match. However, I think money talks, especially in wrestling. As fans, we see that a lot. So I'm hoping he says no because I think that KO match was a perfect retirement match for him.
Yeah, I agree. And you could see with him doing that match, he could still go.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would have been happy. Well, you know what? Let's take a little funny line. Roddy Knoxville's retirement match against Sami Zayn on that same WrestleMania was brilliant. Because Johnny Knoxville said straight after, I'm not doing another one after that. So on that note, it was really awesome to look when doing the research for these, and especially the Dudleys, look back in nostalgia and feel like we grew up watching the best wrestling. I feel,
Yep.
From Dudleys up through the Ruthless, Gresham era, yeah, and watching retirements and seeing them retire now. We got obviously AJ next year, Samoa Joe, I think a year after. I think
we're not far away from the Hardys either.
No, and Edge and Christian also.
Yep.
I do hope AEW do a retirement tour for Edge, but who knows? On that wonderful note, next week we still don't know what we're doing, but we will figure out. Oh no! You pick one right now.
Oh no, I'm not doing it on not picking on air.
No, pick one on air. We'll do it next week.
Nope, because the one that I have is very controversial, and I want to get your okay before we do it.
Oh, I like controversial. It creates money. I learned that off someone. Okay then. So it'll be announced. So this is our last episode on the Meltdown Facebook page. As from next week, we will be preparing live on our Facebook page, the Wrestling Pedigree Facebook page. And we will be live on YouTube and X. So you will be seeing our faces a bit more in different platforms, unfortunately. Where can people find you, Steve? Everywhere and everywhere, but where can I find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me in MWL, actively ruining MWL, which is so much fucking fun.
However, actually, I'm doing that really well and all.
And we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I don't know. We ruined Mayhem.
Yes, we ruined Mayhem.
We have ruined their brand. Unfortunately, the GM had to step down, and the interim manager has gone into it. We have fucked him over. Just because we can. I love it. This is why you love MWL Prediction League, because anything can happen. Yeah, where can they find you, Steve?
Yeah, find me on Facebook. Find me on MWL. You can try to find me on Instagram, but I have no clue what my username is. But even better, just follow Wrestling Pedigree on Instagram. Follow us on our new TikTok.
Yes.
We're on X. We're on Facebook. Like Matty said, starting next week, we are going live on the Wrestling Pedigree Facebook every week. So if you're not already liking the page, go ahead and like it right now. Like we'll wait. Not too long, but we'll wait.
They're doing
that's literally as long as I'm waiting. So if you haven't liked it, go like it right now. Because if you don't like it right now, then you're not going to see us next week. Sorry about your damn luck.
Hey. Next week you'll see what T-shirt Steve will wear next week. Would it be controversial?
Oh, I don't know if I have that shirt. Oh, I do have that shirt. Okay.
I'm really intrigued now. You can find me on X on Matty W freaking A. I've been asked this. What does W freaking A like like the bit means. It means wrestling's freaking awesome. You can find us on Instagram, like Steve said, and TikTok. Find us on YouTube. We're available on all podcast outlets. Please leave a review and a comment and see how we've done. And let's enjoy wrestling, because going through this nostalgia that we do each week proves that professional wrestling is the best escapism in the freaking world.
Yep.
And today's climate is fucking needed. On that note, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him. He's the real general manager of NWL, and we'll see you next week. Maybe the same time, but it'll be definitely a different place. Cheers, guys. Last night, you were the champ. This morning, you're crawling into the bathroom like you just took a chair shot to the liver. Time to tag in Liqueur, the undisputed hangover recovery heavyweight. Packed with site stuff like DHM, B vitamins, and ingredients you can't pronounce, but your liver will love you for it. Pop a gun, me, power up, and stop waking up like a jobber. Go to liqueur.com, use the code PEDIGREE, and you get 20% off your order. That's right. Go to liqueur.com, use the code PEDIGREE, and you get 20% off your order, because legends don't puke.